Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll talk about the 10 lessons I learned from listening to over 500 podcasts in the last 9 months. I was never really a podcast person, to be honest. I preferred listening to music instead. But in May of 2023, I was really unhappy with my life. I didn't have a lot of clarity and I was unsure about what I wanted to do in the future. And so I figured that I would do something different and start listening to podcasts and reading more books. I'll also add the timestamps in the description below. So if you are interested in one particular topic, please feel free to jump ahead. As a financial analyst, I was really interested in the world of finance and real estate, and so I figured I would start with something that aligned with my interests. And the first podcast that I started with was the Canadian Real Estate Podcast. And as my interest grew, I started listening to more podcasts about business, entrepreneurship, real estate, self-development. The most important lesson and a common theme amongst all the podcasts was consistency over motivation. Motivation is very interesting in the sense that it gives us the push and the energy to start something that we know will help us in the future, or start something that we are just really interested in doing, but then it fades over time. It gets us started, but it doesn't get us to the finish line. For example, if you want to start living a healthy life, motivation is what is going to push us to start eating healthy, to start going to the gym, but then over time it's going to fade away. We were convinced that we wanted to start eating healthy. We were convinced that for a better future, going to the gym is important. But that same thing is going to convince us that it's not really worth it. And then it convinces us to stop doing the things that we really wanted to do. Motivation pushes us to write New Year resolutions at the beginning of the year on 1st January. But research shows only 9% of people actually achieve those goals. Consistency, however, takes us to the finish line. This was a common theme amongst all the podcasts. The most successful people are the ones who day in and day out strive to achieve their goals. They fight the battles in their mind that tells them not to do something, that it's really not worth it. But because they have clarity, they are consistent. And that is what makes them successful. So a motivated person may or may not be successful, but a consistent person will most definitely will. The second thing I learned was that a lot of people give up too soon. So this is slightly different from consistency. You are consistently putting in the efforts, but it's not resulting to the outcome that you were expecting. And a lot of people have no idea how close they are to achieving their goals. So this was a theme that consistently came up in the deep dive and the How I Built This podcast, where entrepreneurs talk about their journeys and talk about their failures and successes. The third lesson I learned was that making mistakes is a strength. Making mistakes, analyzing those mistakes, and then learning from those mistakes is crucial for success. One of the greatest cricketer and politician of Pakistan, Imran Khan, is someone that I deeply admire. And in one of his TED Talks, he had this quote that really inspired me. He says, "The secret of success is that each time you have a setback, and the higher the goal, the more the setbacks, analyze the mistake, work hard to eliminate it, and then move forward. But don't scale down your ambition." So if you are not making mistakes and learning from your mistakes, it just means that your ambition is not high enough. And a lot of people are scared to do just that. They are scared of making mistakes. A common theme among all the podcasts was that making mistakes is a strength and not to be afraid of making mistakes, but just analyzing the mistakes and moving forward. The fourth lesson is the importance of reading books and constant learning. This was common amongst all the successful people in every single podcast. So self-development, education, keeping up with the times is extremely important. Not only does it help develop a person's mindset, but it allows you to learn from someone who has spent years in the field, has done their research, has made mistakes and learned from their mistakes, and they condense everything in one book. And so it's really important to read books and apply those learnings in your life. Which brings me to my next step, which is action versus analysis. Action yields results. So if you're only reading books and if you're only listening to podcasts and if you're only educating yourself, but you're not really taking action, you won't really see any difference in your life. And you don't really need all the answers before starting something or before taking action. All successful people learn along the way. They don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, but instead they start taking the first steps. This point really opened my eyes because I was always a perfectionist and it was something that I was really struggling with. I had goals, I had dreams, but until I had all the answers, I would never take the first step. For example, this YouTube channel is probably the scariest thing that I have ever done. I'm not very active on social media. I don't post that many pictures. I'm never in front of the camera. And it's only because I am extremely shy in being in front of the camera. Overall, I have a very outgoing personality, but whenever it comes to being in front of the camera, I'm just scared. It took me 10 tries just to say, hey guys, welcome to my channel. But I just know that I'm very good at managing my money. I have helped so many of my friends do the same. I love self-development. I like experimenting new ideas, and I wanted to share that, and I wanted to put myself out there, but I was so scared that I never started. And I still am. I'm horrible at making videos. I'm not very good at editing, but I'm learning along the way, and I'm pretty sure in a few months or in a few years, I'll be great at it. At the end of the day, I won't regret not ever starting. This was one thing that really changed after I started listening to more people who have taken more risks in their life. The next common theme was taking care of your health. Your health is your biggest asset. It allows you to set goals. It allows you to fight fatigue. It allows you to get back up every time you have a setback. Because if you are not healthy, you have no energy. And it's very hard to focus on self-development and earning more money and working towards a better life because you're always tired, you're just not happy. And so regular exercise, cutting out processed food, being more mindful about what you eat is something which will help you be more successful in your life. The seventh lesson I learned is that company matters. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people helps you broaden your thinking and learn from each other. There is a quote that says that you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. For example, if you hang out with people who are better than you, who know more than you, if you are not the smartest person in the room, you will try to achieve more. Or if you are hanging out with people who have the same dreams, who have the same goals as you do, you will help each other out. But if you surround yourself with people who don't really care about where their life is going, who don't care about their families, who have bad habits, you will see your outlook and your habits change over time as well. The next lesson is the danger of FOMO, of wanting to follow the crowd, the fear of missing out. This can be very dangerous because a person with FOMO sets their gaze on what other people are doing and not what they want to achieve. We see this a lot, especially in the financial world, where if stocks go up, people really want to purchase those stocks, even though the prices are going up. And there is a rule that says, buy low, sell high. But because of FOMO, people do the exact opposite. Warren Buffett, who is the greatest investor of all time, said during the 2008 financial crisis that be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Robert Kiyosaki, who is a very famous real estate investor, also mentioned this in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've recorded a summary of this in my channel, so if you're interested in watching that, you can click the link here. The next point is the importance of financial literacy. A lot of people say that money isn't really important, it doesn't buy happiness, but whatever your thoughts are, there is no doubt that money determines how comfortable you are in life. And so learning how to keep more of the money you have earned, learning about taxes, learning about investing, learning about saving is extremely important. And again, it will determine how comfortable you are in life. Our education system does not emphasize on financial literacy, and that's why a lot of people get stuck in the rat race, or a lot of people just don't know how to keep more of their money. So if you are someone who lives paycheck to paycheck and struggles with keeping their money, please start taking the first steps in making yourself more financially literate. The last lesson that I've adopted in my life is the importance of reflection. For most of my life, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. I thought I knew what my goals were, and I could not have been more wrong. And the simple act of reflecting every week, of writing down my goals, every week assessing where I was, what mistakes I made, what I did really well, has completely changed my life. It has given me more perspective, and not only does it help me improve myself every day, but it also reminds me of my strengths and of things that I'm really good at, of things that I'm very proud of. So every week, build the practice of just reflecting on your life, reflecting on your week. And once you have that idea, break it down into small chunks. Just aim to become 1% better. These were the 10 things that I learned from the different podcasts. If you are interested in watching any of my other videos, I'll link one up here and hope to see you next time. Bye.